our first speaker is a multi-awarded mayor in one of the secondary cities of our country. She is the first lady mayor of Iriga City, elected in 2004, and again, re-elected twice for another 6 years. She has been a speaker for disaster preparedness, recovery, and rehabilitation, both here and abroad. And I believe every time there is a disaster, I call her, and probably she always says to me, Ate, I'm still zero casualty, zero casualty. It's a goal, you know. It's one of those things that the goal is zero. So that is one of the things here in disaster management. She has been given awards for a strong advocacy in promoting disaster resilience through bridging leadership, and of course bridging the gap with her people. She has implemented a fully computerized local government facility that enables the city to provide more efficient services to their constituents. And she has also promoted the use of libraries, museums amongst their students, and Iriga has grown a lot under the leadership of our first speaker for this afternoon, Lady Mayor of Iriga City, Mayor Madel Alfelor.
Thank you, Ate Marisa. Actually, I am very thankful to Kaya Natin for believing in me. When Camille texted me that I will be one of the speakers, and then I said, who will be the other speakers? And then she said, it's my idol, Yusek Austere Panadero, and of course, the DRRM himself, Sir Alex Pama. Sabi ko, are you sure? Are you sure that you want me to be with those panel? And those are all star cast. I don't know why I was invited, by the way. But anyway, we prepared a video. Then after the video will be a PowerPoint. And the video is a narrative. Actually, I used this during the colloquium during NRC colloquium, our NRC colloquium. And I really want to share this with the people because this is our experience. This is my story, and this is my narrative about Iriga City as far as disasters. I may say disasters because our city is being visited by 8 to 10 typhoons in a year, and one of those are super typhoons. And it so happened that this year there were 4 typhoons. The one is super typhoon. It's 320 kilometers per hour, while the 2 typhoons are super typhoon, and the other one is a category 2. So there were 4 typhoons in a row. So here's the video.
During my first term as local chief executive, our internal revenue allotment was 103 million pesos. Our local revenue was only 12 million pesos, and our asset was only 200 million. We are landlocked, bypassed due to the diversion road that connects 2 highly urbanized cities, namely Naga and Legazpi City. We were stagnated for decades, which means we were really poor. That explains why health has never been a priority during my first term. We cannot even afford to provide all the basic services to our constituents. Not to mention that 6 natural disasters of our region, flooding, landslide, erosion, earthquake, eruptions, and typhoons. These are the impediments and hindrances, at the same time challenges, on how to make our city progressive and resilient. There were 2 subsequent super typhoons came and damaged our city. Milenio, 195 kilometers per hour, and Reming, 265 kilometers per hour. Flooding occurred up to 2.3 meters in the central business district. Soil mass movement created a dam of mud with its debris flowing through the built-up area of the city. Our housing project, in partnership with Gawad Kalinga, were all destroyed. Here comes February 2010, at the onset of El Nino. Wildfire occurred at the eastern part of Mount Iriga, damaging 700 hectares. It was the indigenous people and village officials who volunteered to arrest the fire. And now, COVID-19, the most strenuous and tough battle. For the first 5 months, we remained COVID-free city. But when the government opened the gates for locally stranded individuals, authorized persons outside residence, businesses, though there's really no dichotomy between health and business, but however, the sudden surge of positive cases is inevitable. All our friends, relatives, department heads, employees got infected. And I even had my COVID scare when I got exposed to them. I voluntarily quarantined myself until the official result of swab PCR test was released. Now comes Quinta, which aggravated the entire scenario, contact tracing at the same time, rescuing the evacuees, and not a pretty sight to see. After a week, here comes Rolly, a super typhoon with the same path as Quinta. I love Iriga so much. I was born here, I grew up here, and I will die here. This is the reason why I work 24/7, 100% dedicated and committed and doing my best to put Iriga in the map. Those experiences were our tipping point. We transformed into resilient, adaptive, and creative leaders. When we saw the community participation, everybody went out of their way to help. All sectors were passionately devoted to help every disaster that gets in the way. We realized that bridging leadership is indeed very effective to encourage everyone to share their sense of ownership, co-ownership, and co-creation. As long as the leaders set apart differences, committed to attain a goal, work collaboratively to all the people, equip, capacitate, and invest on human development, work as influencer, then advocate the law of the lead strategy, everyone will participate and cooperate to all endeavors. Now, due to the trust and confidence, our poverty incidence went down from 39% to 17%. Unemployment rate from 37% to 7%. Our ERA is 650 million pesos. Our local revenue is 130 million pesos. And our asset, which is usually the basis for borrowing capacity, is 1.5 billion already. We were able to pay UP Planades to mentor us with our CLUP, including our climate and disaster risk assessment, which is known as CIDRA. And it is also part of our ELA, Executive Legislative Agenda. Now we have our own city hall. All economic enterprises are earning. ICT building, gymnasium, dialysis center, expansion of the slaughterhouse, solid waste management compliant, City Health Annex 2 will be serving our people in the mountain area, ongoing construction of the Iriga Amusement Park, and also our Level 1 hospital. Veggies on Wheels, which evolve into rolling store and satellite markets to assist the local farmers to earn and maintain their livelihood. We are SGLG awardee, Seal of Good Financial Housekeeping, and other awards bestowed upon us by the national government agencies and international as well. But this does not stop here. We will continuously work hard and will deepen our commitment to resilience at the individual, institutional, and community levels. God bless us all.
Well, that's our narrative here in Iriga City. Now we have the PowerPoint, Camille. Well, I just want to dwell on 4 thematic areas. Actually, that's what I've learned. Everything actually is a learning and experience process for all of us, and it is also an advantage once you're active, both national and international. So you get to learn more about DRRM. We focus on Dream C, NRC. We are very thankful to all the lifelines. Sunday Framework, UNI SDR. Actually, Sunday Framework has been introduced to us by UNI SDR. And to be more particular in the planning, the city classified its management of disaster into 4 thematic areas, and that is mitigation and prevention, preparedness, response, and rehabilitation. Actually, we concentrate more on that, on the 4 thematic areas. But I've heard my DRRM officer, she said, we have to strengthen preparedness more. So it's just like we have to strengthen preventive rather than curative. So in mitigation and prevention, our goal is to avoid hazard and mitigate potential impact by reducing vulnerabilities and exposure and enhance the capacities of the communities. So to make this possible, the city carry out programs like tree planting, flood control, water impoundment, desilting, installation of early warning devices. Offices, agencies of the local government, such as but not limited to DILG, CDRRMO, OCPDC, DA, DNR, among others, work hand in hand to make all the aforementioned possible. They work in order to generate a community-based analysis and monitoring activities. Now, next is preparedness. Our goal is to establish and strengthen capacities of the communities to anticipate, cope, and recover from the negative impacts of emergency occurrences and disasters. On this part, the key is readiness of both our material and human resources. The following program activities are undertaken. We have trainings, preparation of plans, capacity building, preemptive evacuations. Preemptive evacuation is really the key. At this point, offices, agencies with the participation of different sectors of the city vigorously participated in the creation of comprehensive and unified disaster preparedness plan for the area of their concern. All the barangays has its contingency plan, and even all the schools of DepEd, the entire schools, we have 40 elementary schools and we have 11 secondary schools. They all have contingency plan and hazard mapping. Then in response, our goal is to provide life preservation and meet the basic subsistence needs of affected population based on acceptable standards during or immediately after a disaster. In this regard, the city is all set on its relief operation, of course, and clearing operation. It is inevitable that the community's normal day-to-day life will be interrupted once a disaster occurs. So that's why we have the Ardana. We have to analyze, we have to get the analysis, risk disaster analysis. And after the Ardana, we have the rehabilitation. Of course, that's the last part, building back. Our goal is to restore and improve facilities, livelihood and living conditions, and organizational capacity of the affected communities and reduce disaster risk in accordance with the Build Back Better principle. So we have rehabilitation of buildings, houses, reforestation, physical and psychological first aid. So in this area, the city focuses on the restoration of people's means of livelihood and continuity of economic activities and business. Included therein is the restoration of residential houses, public buildings providing public services, and apart from repair of buildings, we give importance to physical and psychological rehabilitation of persons who suffered from the effects of disaster. So thank you to Kaya Natin, and thank you for having me. These 3 super typhoons actually due to the 4 thematic areas, and since we are really passionate and we are really an advocate of the RRM, we still thank God because in all 4 strong typhoons, our city records 0 casualty. So thank you very much to everyone. Mabalus po.